getting crazy, baby, chill. Don't medicate, just meditate. You waking up now, well, baby, you hella late. Educate, look at what's going on, let it resonate, accelerate. Find your inner hunger like you never ate. Agenda is to push the hate, separate and segregate. Don't celebrate quite yet, the storm is coming, Q, for heaven's sake. Violence that they demonstrate, instigate and penetrate. The values of our country and our God is what they desecrate. My fighters ain't no featherweight, pulling out the seams of the fabric that they fabricate. They feed us lies, manipulate, intimidate through fear and force, forcing us to sit and wait till we come together, congregate, and then we liberate. Praying that you give me strength to find some love amongst the hate. Marching on these streets of blood till I see the golden gates. Troubadour and troubled souls, one of God's servants. Blades out, cut the grass till we see the serpent.
One day I hope you see the truth. This puppet show stays on because of you fools. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get ready to pay your dues. Oh God, come back home. This crazy world is filled with liars and abusers. We need you now before we're too far gone. I hope one day they finally see the truth. God, we need you now.
I know the truth is hard to swallow, just digest it. Suspected something's going on, but chose to just neglect it. Deflected by some breaking news, or we just accept it. Expected just to fall in line and follow their perspective. Don't question their objective, but I got a lot of questions. How these kids molested, but nobody's been arrested. Read it in the testament, these children are protected. So I'm fighting all these terrorists, both foreign and domestic. Refuse to be directed, lying not a sheep. Only kneel to my God, so I'm dying on my feet. Silence when we speak, but there's violence in the street. I've been rolling with the punches, I can't take it on the cheap. Drink from a glass half full, I'm optimistic. People are sadistic, so vicious and malicious. Praying for assistance to overcome opposition, or I'm gonna start resisting, and then I'll pray for forgiveness.
One day I hope you see the truth. This puppet show stays on because of you fools. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get ready to pay your dues. Oh God, come back home. This crazy world is filled with liars and abusers. We need you now before we're too far gone. I hope one day they finally see the truth. God, we need you now. We need you now. We need you now. One day, one day, one day. Oh, one day, I hope you see the truth. This puppet show stays on because of you fools. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get ready to pay your dues. Oh God, come back home. This crazy world is filled with liars and abusers. We need you now before we're too far gone. I hope one day they finally see the truth. God, we need you now.
Yes, Lord, we need you now. Shout out to Struggle Jennings and Caitlin for this, because Lord have mercy. We sure do need you now, Lord. I'm a little late coming on because um, we had a incident. My husband had to leave and go pick up our daughter and granddaughter. So we were running a little behind, and I'm sorry about that. If anybody came in earlier and I wasn't here, and I put on here we were going to talk about some supernatural things, and we are going to talk about some supernatural things, but um, it's a little different than what you may think that I was going to come talk about because I have been exposing a lot of things that have been going on with our children, with where our children are, you know, about them being taken, molested, just like in that song. Our children are being molested, but nobody is arrested. And why do you think that would be? Just take a great guess at it. Well, it's because the people who are in positions of power that make the laws and the rules are the ones that are the top supply, if you know what I'm saying, the top of the food chain. So if you're in here and you want to say anything, join me. Because these things are supernatural. We do not wrestle with flesh and blood. I'm going to tell you right now. You may think we do, but we don't. There are dark spiritual forces at work. And they are not going to relent. We are going to have to stand up and we're going to have to fight. We can't fight in the physical with spiritual things. It's not going to happen. It doesn't work. I have lived in so many places that have had spiritual things going on in them that were not good. And in the past, I didn't realize that I had authority over these things, but indeed, you do have authority over these things. I will say the first house I actually moved into whenever I was 17 and got married, there were some heavy duty spiritual things going on in that house. Okay, but there were Satanists that were doing rituals in that house that I did not know about. I didn't understand what that stuff was back then, or not cognitively. My body remembered things, but my mind, of course, did not have a lot of memory of things. But I ended up getting married, and the person that I used to be married to was into some dark stuff that I did not know about until I found a box in our house and looked through the box and found out that he was into some dark things. That was well over 30 years ago, so thank God I got out of that situation. And but I do want to read some things to you about what our top leaders are doing in our country, okay? We cannot turn our head to this any longer. We have got to expose the darkness, okay? Now, this being the weekend of Halloween, Samhain, we need to understand the veil is very thin this time of the year. And it is a time when people who practiced dark magic or any kind of magic, they will use this time of the year to do things. So there are rituals that are going on from now all the way through until even November the 1st. And I just want to say that whether you believe me or not, it still happens, and it's still happening. It's been going on since the beginning of time, and it's still happening. And I wish that people could understand what we are truly dealing with, because it is way scarier than any horror movie you could ever watch. It is scarier than any monster that you could imagine in your dreams. It's way worse than that. And let me see if I can share this, what I'm reading about. Let me see. I think I can share this. Let me see. Hold on. I'm going to read it. You will, I mean, seriously, I'm going to go ahead and put a trigger warning on this right now that I'm fixing to talk about. Trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning. I'm going to type it, in fact, because it is going to be heavy, okay? Okay. Um, I'm going to read something, okay? And I'm going to see if I can share it on here. Um, okay. Yes, I can. Wait, is that it? Or is this it? I think this is it. Yes, this is it. All right. Now, let me make sure y'all can see it on y'all's view. Okay, yes, you can. All right. Now, if I don't answer you, if anybody comes on here and you're typing in the comments or anything, it's because I'm looking on the actual tab because it's hard to see it through StreamYard. So, this is Timothy Charles Home Seth reports, okay, infiltrated the finders. And I've mentioned the finders before, okay? The finders, you can look it up. There's actually a movie about it. It's called The Finders Cult. And this is actually talking about that. And supposedly Trump has honestly infiltrated. Now, I pray it's true that he has infiltrated and actually come forward with a lot of the finder stuff. Now, Isaac Cappy, I think we all know what happened to him. All right. And there's just so much to this, but I'm going to go ahead and explain some of it to you and read this. Unimaginable horror. Last night in Nevada, Trump told the world what documents and videos the other presidents took from their White House. Caution, extremely graphic. Viewing may cause personal health crisis. Okay? So understand this is very heavy. This is dated October the 9th of 2022. Timothy Homseth, Crimes Against Children, Children Against, Crimes Against Humanity, Pentagon Pedophile Task Force, Treason, U.S. Military, White House, okay? Here's evidence. Trump is leading America back to God. Now listen, I don't know about that. I'm not going to say that. I do believe God used Trump. I surely do, because all this stuff started coming out like pouring peroxide on a festering wound. And it started bubbling up. So let's get to it. It's so bad. I mean, I hate to even have to read this stuff, but I'm showing it because if I have to cut out some stuff, you'll know why, but you can follow along with me. Okay? By Pentagon Pedophile Task Force. All right? It says, here's why. Well, Trump spoke to a huge crowd at a Trump rally in Minden, Nevada. Trump encouraged Americans to focus on documents that had been taken by former U.S. presidents. Okay? Here's why. Trump indirectly told you because he knows there are documents and videos that were taken and stored away by former U.S. presidents that show U.S. presidents and world leaders raped, you know what I'm saying? This word right here. And tortured, and oft, red rummed, and actually ate little children right down to George H. Bush, George W. Bush, and Bill Clinton, giggling and wearing a chef hat while they ate a CHILD brain as the child watched. Okay? Now, this is serious trigger warnings, people. I'm just going to tell you, and I'm not able to see. I'm going to try to go back for a minute and see if anybody's on, because I have got to keep warning you. This is really hard, okay? After the table was set, and it's hard to read this. The taunting, we finished. George cut the top of the SKULL off of the first CHILD, and using a different tool that was kind of like a melon baller, served pieces of his BRAIN slowly, so the CHILD knew he was being eaten alive. George H. Bush served other members at the table, including Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, Archbishop Timothy M. Dolan, Matt, I can't see that small, Thomas Brady, the Cheneys, and the Pences. Now, I don't need to really get into this, but I have said from the beginning that Pence was not a good guy. I said that from the very beginning when Trump took office. If you can go back and look at my video, it would probably be under the one that is entitled Obama, I'm Back. In fact, I never left. And I think that was in June or July of 2016. Okay. So, and the Kerrys. George H. Bush moved from one child to the next as a high priest and priestesses from the surrounding tables began to line up, and he served the children's BRAINS and other BODY parts like a holiday meal. Okay? Now, this is so hard to talk about because this is going on this weekend, y'all. This kind of stuff is going on right now as I am talking to you. There are little babies and little children being prepared right now for things like this and even worse. Begin snippet. Trump talked about the FBI break-in of his home at Mar-a-Lago in Florida and the unconstitutional seizure of his documents and property. On the topic of the documents he had at his Mar-a-Lago home in Florida, Trump charged the previous presidents, including Bill Clinton, George H.W. Bush, and George W. Bush, took millions of documents when they left the White House, and no one ever accused them of a crime. He accused Barack Obama of taking 20 truckloads of documents to Chicago when he left. Now, here's the thing. Now, he could have sent the stuff to Chicago. I don't know. But I do know that Obama did not even move back to Chicago full time. He moved right down the street from the White House, where the vice president and the Clintons have a house there and all that. So, I'm not sure about that, but I guess he would have to take it. That would probably be a rental house I imagine he stayed in. I don't know. But I know that, he probably have him sent back to his home in Chicago, I guess. By contrast, I had a small number of documents guarded by the Secret Service, he said, contradicting the FBI and court document reports that those documents were basically unguarded in a storeroom or in his office. He charged that while they go after him, the National Archives has lost the nuclear codes and misplaced other secret documents while acting as though his keeping some documents is the greatest crime ever committed. He accused some unnamed officials of planting evidence in snippets. And then we can see here, if you can push it up. I mean, you can see plainly where this is. You can go to it. On September 7th, 2022, Timothy Charles Homseth announced sworn affidavits from Jesse Marie. I don't want to butcher this name, so it's Czebotar, were successfully delivered to President Donald J. Trump via Trump's attorney, Lindsay Halligan. The affidavits were submitted to Trump to replace documents that were in the custody of Trump but may have been seized by the FBI. Let's just understand there are good people in the FBI like Ted Gunderson, and there are people that are not so good in the FBI. And below is among the information Timothy Charles Homseth submitted to President Trump. Begin. And honestly, if you can, I'm putting this here so that you can blow it up and read this on your own, because I can't stomach reading it. I'm just going to be honest with you. I cannot stomach reading this again. It is the most profane, sickening thing, and it goes across. Okay, that was the first right there. And I've got these things saved, so I wish I could make them bigger, and maybe I can and put them in a link below maybe. But I'm going to make it where you can hopefully blow up this and pause it and make it bigger on your screen so that you can read it, okay? And this is where it proves that this is a true affidavit and where it was taken and the date and the people who signed it, okay? There you go. There you go. And again, here's more information, okay? And I do wish there was a way I could make this bigger for you guys. But it's so much. If you see it, it's so much. But I do have them on my computer, so I think I can drop the link below, because honestly, I don't want to read this stuff out loud. I don't want to even put it out in the atmosphere. It's really bad, really, really bad, worse than what I even just read to you. So I'm showing it to you so that you can actually blow this stuff up and you can absorb it and read it and look for the information yourself. Because I'm not telling you what to believe, I'm just showing you. And I do know that SRA is real, which is satanic ritual abuse. I'm just trying to make it where you can scroll and just pause it every time, and just hopefully you can like make it bigger on your screen so you can read all these things. It's a lot, but it is so heavy, but it needs to be talked about. It just needs to be. And if I have to, I will try to go and have these things copied out, but I've got to make them bigger. Like the font size needs to be bigger because this is a file and it is pretty small writing. But like I said, you can definitely pause this video and you can magnify what you're reading. It just goes on and on and on. And the more you read, the more depraved it gets. But we are to expose the work of darkness, right? A lot of the names have been redacted, as you see, because they're marked through. I didn't mark through them, but they've been marked through to protect, I'm sure, certain people. And then that's the end right there. And this is about the news reporter, the award winning news reporter and investigative journalist. He is an FBI witness in a national profile kidnapping case. He captured rogue CIA and FBI child traffickers on tape discussing their operations. He has been targeted for a decade. In 2019, Timothy Charles Homseth became part of the Pentagon Pedophile Task Force. Timothy Homseth is the only reporter authorized to report original content for the PPTF. There is one man between Timothy Homseth and President Trump. Okay? So, that is what even I just read, like I said to you earlier, was a piece submitted out of that. Okay? But really, you cannot get the true depravity of it unless you read all of that. See right here, it says Isaac Cappy calls Timothy Homestead. This stuff is so tied in together. Right here. I'm going to play it. I've not heard this yet. So,
Trump arrest these motherfuckers soon. You're worried about me. Guys, I hope I'll be okay. I pray I'll be okay. Y'all, some of you pray for me too. I love that. Me too. Me too. Me too. Oh, Timothy Homseth. Yes. Shit. You know what? I'll call him up right now. Well, I need to eat. Damn. All right. No, I'll call Timothy first. Timothy. Oh, wait. It's on my Twitter. Hold on.
again, guys, this is Isaac Cappy. For those of you who don't know who it is.
Please excuse me while I route this call right now.
And he was red roamed on Route 66.
Mm-hmm. All right. Oh, crap. Write it down.
I apologize for all the cussing. But
guys, I gotta say, I was a bit of a drama queen on the phone call to that government worker. Once I was like, this person does not want to help me. I was a bit of a drama queen. I was like, man, if anyone ever hears this phone call, they'll be like, I guess it's Isaac's not listen to him. You need to calm down. Yeah, I'm fucking pissed off. We try. All right, let's call Tim Homestead. 701. Keep it cool on the calls. Man, you know what? These people just try to antagonize me, though. That government lady, she's just trying to antagonize me. No, I don't want them to think I'm crazy. I don't want that. I am the most sane one in the bunch, guys. Look at me. I'm so calm. After knowing what I know, seeing what I see.
Hello?
Yes, hello. Hey, sorry to put you on the spot, but this is Isaac Cappy, and I'm on Periscope right now. People were like, call Timothy Homestead, and I was like, yes, I would love to. So I know you gave me your number, but I just wanted to let you know you're on. I've been taking calls with Americans all day, and people have been requesting you, so I just wanted to reach out.
Okay, this is Isaac Cappy?
Yeah, this is Isaac Cappy.
Oh, I had a hard time hearing you in the
Oh, no worries, buddy. Do you want to talk?
To you.
What's that?
I said it's nice to talk to you.
Yeah, you too. You too. I'm sorry I missed you on Sunday because I was busy working on a project and I couldn't. You were sending me the stuff. I was like, oh, I need to do this. I felt like I could have done it better, but I was just so fried from work. But it's good. It's great to talk to you now.
Yeah. Boy, I'm heading for a gas station here.
Okay. I'll tell you what. Just call back. Call back whenever you want to talk because people want to hear you. One of the great things about my format is I can just turn on whenever. So I don't want you.
Just about there.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Let's wait. Sure.
You want to do a Q&A or something? Is that?
Yeah. Great. Let's do it. Let's do it.
All right.
Yes, babies. Live and direct with Timothy Homseth, the great investigative journalist, the citizen investigator, Tim Homseth, who has a lot of information about the Wetterling case. That's Omaha, right?
The Wetterling case?
Yeah.
It's in Minnesota.
Minnesota. But it's connected to the Franklin thing, right?
Oh, I'm sure that at some point all of that trafficking is going to be tied together.
Yeah.
The same sickles.
Yeah. Yep.
One more second.
Yeah.
I think I'm pulling in.
Yeah, take your time. No rush, my man. I want you to be safe. Yeah, I want you to be safe. Don't talk to me and drive. Deciem, I haven't heard much. Tim, yeah, it's, I believe, T. Homseth.
Okay, I'm with you. Me and my son.
Okay, great. Your son, great. So first off, people want to know what your Twitter handle is.
Gosh.
T. Homseth, is that what it is?
Yeah, I think it's T. Homseth, yeah.
Okay, T. Homseth. Guys, I'm sure some of my listeners follow him. Can you post it in the comments for everybody else? Thanks. So what's up, buddy? How are you doing today?
Great. I'm heading down to southern Minnesota. My oldest daughter's getting married.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, thanks.
So, yeah, just anything you'd like to chat about with everybody?
Well, are you kind of the topic that, like you said, one of the big topics right now is the Wetterling case.
Yeah.
I don't know. My son's asking me a question. He's trying to. Are you on your Isaac Cappy account right now?
Yeah, I'm on the Periscope, but don't have him turn the sound on because then it will be like a vortex of delays. Yeah. But yeah, go ahead. He can turn it on if he wants to, of course. Just no sound though.
I'm on his Periscope right now. Yeah. Right now the Wetterling case is the. I don't know if anybody's not following it. I encourage people to do it because I think that the Wetterling case is going. I think that it's the Pedogate case of the century, and the reason that I say that, Isaac, is because first of all, that happened in 1989, and it was a cover-up from day one. I personally believe this is just my own personal opinion, but all the evidence says that his parents are involved, and so. You've got this little boy. He's kidnapped off the side of the road by a man at gunpoint. So you've got a kidnapping. Then they never solve it for almost 30 years. And two gals, or several people, but a bail bondsman was doing like some PI work. Her name is Diane Muehlbauer, and she was working with a PI in St. Cloud. And she literally got the guys that did it on tape. They admitted that they took him. And she got all this on tape. They took him to this girl's apartment. He was tortured for days. I think my guess is they were raising his adrenochrome.
Yeah.
And from what I hear, I mean, I like I said, some of this is, we'll just call it speculation, although I know what I think. I think that he was, from what I heard, he was sacrificed on Halloween of 1989.
Oh, that's
and then
horrible.
From there, his mother goes on to.
I just want to stop right there. Do you see what I'm saying? Now, listen, I have not seen this particular live of Isaac Cappy, okay? But what did I just get out of my mouth about what goes on this weekend? What goes on Halloween? What is going on this weekend? Listen, this is no joke. This is serious. It's not about little kids dressing up in costumes and going around getting candy saying trick or treat. It's what they want to put as a front of what it is. Oh, but it's not.
To run for Congress, she's funded by Barack Obama.
Whoa!
Yeah, she was one of, I think, only 2 or 3 candidates that year that received a donation from Barack Obama.
Oh wow! You know what's weird? That ties into David Schroeder. He was talking about when Obama came to Omaha. They called it Obamaha, and he was just so pissed. But that's huge, man. Wow! And it's Wetterling, folks. Wetterling, right? Wetterling.
Correct.
And for Dave, hey guys, for Tim Homseth, his Twitter is at THOLMSETH. Homseth. T Homseth. Right?
Yep.
Okay.
And if they go to my website, writeintoaction.com, there's a link that takes them to my Twitter.
Okay, great.
And at writeintoaction.com, right there, pretty much at the top, there's a story, and it's like a 7-part series that I wrote. And if they go to that, they can hear the confession.
Oh wow.
It's all on tape, and everybody can hear it. The whole thing's a cover-up, and it was covered up by the sheriff's office. It was covered up by the FBI.
Exactly. This is one of the things that people need to understand. Law enforcement has oftentimes been complicit in covering this shit up.
Do you understand that? Do you know the people who have talked about what is really going on in Truckee? The people are talking about what is happening with possibly down in Florida with the laundry case. So many cases that you seem like, well, what's going on with these kids? Why aren't they getting any kind of, why aren't they getting any justice? What's going on? Well, what's going on is law enforcement is covering a lot of this up. There are people who actually give their children up in these type of rituals, okay? This is not a joke. This is not just for Halloween clicks and views or anything. This stuff is real, and that is why it's so scary. Like I said, I can watch any horror movie in the world, and it is nothing compared to the fact of what is really going on.
True story.
That's right. They wouldn't be able to do it think about it. Even with drug trafficking, in order to run crime networks, you have to have law enforcement on the inside, or law will take you down.
Yep. Hey, I got to ask you, people are asking me this. What do you think about Pence?
Wait.
Not good, man.
I knew it.
Yeah.
Well, I put up a video. YouTube took down my videos, but I had a YouTube video up that had over a quarter of a million views on it, and it was called Mike Pence, Luciferian Traitor.
Yes.
Wow.
I knew it. I knew
What
it.
I think of him. I've heard some really bad things about him. Real bad, Isaac.
I knew it.
And you know what? I noticed that for these sealed indictments, there are a ton from Indiana.
Oh, yeah, it's one of the biggest ones.
Yeah, and I have heard, I'm sure you talk to a lot of people, because being that you've been so brave, I'm sure other people give you information, much like they do myself. And what's coming out of Indiana is not good. So,
is it ever? That's where the Franklin cover-up was, wasn't it?
After me, the ones that call me with the voice changers, and they threatened to kill me. They threatened to kidnap my granddaughter. That's out of Indiana. It's called Specialized Investigative Consultants Incorporated. It's out of Mishawaka, Indiana.
What?
And it's run by a fake PI named Tina Church. and they tried to set me up for kidnapping, rape, and murder of a missing child.
Whoa! Holy shit!
What they did to me looks exactly like the Stephen Avery case.
Y'all, listen to this for a minute. Are you kidding me? A PI agency, a fake PI agency. What does that sound like to you? Where have we just heard that? Whose parents own a PI investigative service? What is being covered up in Truckee? Let's think for a minute. Well, and how about Jolisa Fuentes in California? And some right down from there. Come on, people. Let's think. Let's use our common sense.
Only I slipped out of it at the last second. They were literally planting evidence around me to make it look like there's a little girl named Haley Cummings, and I covered that.
Oh, man.
I covered that kidnapping. And what they did is they tried to make it look like I kidnapped her.
Oh, my God.
In Florida, and I was in Minnesota.
So these people tried to set you up. They tried to set you up. Wow. Bro.
And again, that's at the top of my webpage on Right Into Action as well.
Right Into Action.
I put up a
Again, Haley Cummings is a little 3-year-old girl that was missing in Florida. She went missing from a trailer. Her parents, well, her stepmother, Misty Crosling, who her father ended up marrying. She was like a 17-year-old babysitter. She was watching the children while he was at work. Supposedly, somebody just came in and took Haley right out of her bed while Misty slept right in the same room right there. I don't know how that happened, but I do find it odd that this case was running simultaneously along with, guess what other case in Florida? Casey and Kaylee Anthony. The Kaylee Anthony case. Once again, Casey Anthony's father was what? L.E., retired law enforcement.
Timeline of documents. So you can just click on one page and it'll show you the police reports. They were going to try to make me look like a drug dealer. They did all these things, and they seized my computer.
Holy crap.
I barely got out of it. And that's not the first time. I mean, I come out to my car one day, the light was ripped out. They were going to try, I know what they're going to do. They were going to try to put fentanyl in the car or something and have me arrested.
Yeah, I got to say, by the way, I need to make this disclosure, especially to maybe Five Eye friends watching. I have gotten some reports about possible chemical, biological attacks on myself. So just putting it out there. I've gotten a number of people who were like, yo, watch out. So just putting that out there for myself. I felt it needs to be said today. Anyways, I don't mean to steal your thunder, my man, but what else? So how long have you been working this case?
Well, I mean, I've been a news reporter for, like 20 years. But then, and I won first place awards, like with the North Dakota Newspaper Association. And then in 2009, I just got some calls. These people started calling me on this case out of Florida of a little missing girl named Haley Cummings. Mm-hmm. And it actually ended up being the same group that took Kaylee Anthony. Remember that one?
Kaylee Anthony. No,
wow.
I don't remember that one.
See, oh my gosh, I have not watched this video before, but again, my brain went right there because once you start seeing this stuff, you cannot unsee it.
Casey Anthony down in Florida?
Oh, Casey Anthony. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
MK Ultra?
That's a group of kidnappers.
Holy shit, really? Oh, that doesn't surprise me. And she got off, didn't she? She got off, didn't she?
Yeah, dude, she got off, but she's not the one that did it. I interviewed the guy that I know that killed Kaylee.
Holy crap. Wow.
I don't give a crap if he's listening right now because I'm going to say his name. His name is Reverend Richard Grund. He's the one that they need to talk to about Kaylee and how she died.
Wow.
She died either deliberately during a satanic ritual sacrifice thing, or she died accidentally during an exorcism. But at any rate, it was Grund.
Wow.
Richard Grund's son was engaged to be married to Casey Anthony.
Whoa.
You know what he told me?
What?
Isaac, you know what Richard Grund told me? He told me on the phone one day, and I got this on tape. He said, Tim, Casey Anthony isn't Casey anymore. She's her body is now indwelt by a ancient Babylonian god named Moloch, who demands the sacrifice of babies.
What?
He told me, we were talking about Casey, and he goes, oh, Tim, Casey's not Casey anymore. She's indwelt by an ancient Babylonian god named Moloch. And you know what? Richard Grund runs a business called the Supernatural Response Team. What he does, he says, he goes around and he fights demons. He says he's come face to face with a fallen watcher angel, a Nephilim.
What? That's crazy, man.
He's who you need to look at. It wasn't Casey. Casey might have been there.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Very interesting. So Casey Anthony got set up, is what you're saying.
Well, I mean, they put it all over Nancy Grace and everything. It was just that Casey killed her daughter. However, Kaylee died. If Casey might have been there, but it was Grund. I heard that from Wayanne Kruger. Wayanne Kruger works with attorney Gloria Allred. Wayanne was talking to me about Haley Cummings, another missing child, and she said, I hope Grund didn't kill Haley in another one of his frickin' exorcisms.
Whoa, weird.
This girl worked with Grund.
Interesting. Wow.
I hit a hornet's nest back in 2009, and they've never let up on me.
Wow.
They tried to put me in prison. They're still trying.
So, man, well, big up to you. So you were this, award-winning investigative journalist, and then you stumbled into some shit that's like, and luckily you didn't get the Michael Hastings treatment, and you're still with us, man. So big up to you for that.
Yeah, I mean, I was interviewed by the FBI. What I did is it was a CIA trafficking operation. They were identifying themselves as CIA agents and FBI agents, and they were moving these kids around.
Oh my God!
And when I realized what was going on, I'm like, oh shit, they'll set me up. I contacted the FBI. The FBI interviewed me. They got a bunch of my recordings, and then the FBI didn't do anything. They knew.
Wow.
Who kidnapped a little girl. That's the old FBI. Now I'm hoping that Trump can replace it, with the new guys.
Yeah, right. People, and this is an aspect that people don't get about once you start to tango with these entities that are trafficking children, you begin to realize that there's a lot of collusion at very high levels, and that you need to fucking watch your six at all times. And maybe engage in some behavior that throws them off. Because these people do not fucking play games.
Yes. Gang stalking is real. So gang stalk your gang stalker.
Yeah, that's right. And back to the Wetterling thing now, they just released some of the files in that case after like 30 years. And just in a cursory review, I was going through the files, and I came upon a police report that was made to the St. Joseph, I think the sheriff's office that was investigating Jacob's kidnapping. A police officer from like a neighboring city called in a report, and he said, and the long and short of it is, he was reporting something about this guy that was involved with what he called the Council of 13. Well, anybody out there, if you're listening,
I have heard of that.
Council of 13. That's the global, that's them at the top. That's the Rothschilds.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Illuminati.
Bigly. Wow, dude. Wow, that's huge. That's huge. Yeah, that's big.
Yeah, there was all kinds of stuff in there about cult activity, but like, believe me, the Jacob Letterman kidnapping, this isn't your average kidnapping. When a police officer calls in and says, I've got this guy that gouged out his own eyes or something, he blinded himself because he thought demons were attacking him, but then the guy said something about the Council of 13.
Oh my gosh, that. Oh, that's crazy. Hey.
That's an actual police report. That's not Tim Homestead saying it.
Right. No, I know that's nuts. Hey, I got a question for you though. They want some. Kelly wants to know about the lawsuit you filed against Hillary and others. Filed at the beginning of this year.
Okay. The lawsuit's not filed against Hillary. And there's a court, I can't say the name.
Okay. Yeah, you don't need to divulge. Yeah, okay. That's fine. We don't need to talk about that.
The lawsuit's moving along.
Okay, cool. Yeah, well, we don't need to talk about it. Let's see, what else? Yeah, so remind people of your website again. By the way, we're talking to Timothy Homseth, amazing investigative journalist. Got caught up with some Illuminati looms and having a bit of a go at it. And his Twitter handle is T Homseth.
You know of Jeffrey Epstein, right?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. Okay. The people that were kidnapping those kids, the CIA operation that was kidnapping these kids in Florida that I tangled with.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they were procurers for Epstein.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, they had one of their big attorneys try to scare me from the Scott Rothstein's office. Scott Rothstein was arrested. He ran the largest Ponzi scheme in the history of Florida. It was $1.4 billion. He's in federal prison now, but he was involved with Epstein. And when they were trying to scare me back in 2009, they had one of these big billionaire lawyers trying to mess with me. I never did back off from ever.
Good. Good. And your site is writeintoaction.com, correct? WRITE.
Yeah, it's right with a W, like how you write with a pen?
Right, writeintoaction.com, all one word. Well, it's great to have you on. I've seen what you're doing, and I'm a big supporter, man. I'm so glad you're with us. It's amazing.
Man,
we pray though.
I got mad respect for you, Isaac. I don't know where you're located, but are you in California?
Yeah, I'm in the desert.
Man, you are. I mean, it's dangerous where I'm at, but holy crap.
Oh yeah. Well, hey man, I got a jury summons. My old residents sent me a text. They're like, yo, you got this. I tried to call them up today, be like, hey, I don't live in LA. They're like, well, you need the form. I'm like, I don't have the form. And they're just trying to make it hard. I'm like, and also, I'm not stepping near a motherfucking courthouse without a federal order of protection. So there is that, right? Yeah. And this woman was just so rude. Whatever. Who cares? It's fun. So what else? You're going to your daughter's wedding. That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm excited. I get to see my granddaughter again. When my daughter left where we lived because the mafia called and said they were watching our house.
Oh man!
She got scared and left, and that was my daughter. And then she left, and she had a baby.
Right.
And so my granddaughter is going to be 3 in December.
That's amazing.
But
amazing.
My son's with me right now.
Well, tell your son hello. What's his name?
Oh no! Don't tell his name. No, I don't want to say his name. No.
Hi, how you doing, buddy?
Good. How are you?
I am amazing. It's so good to talk to your dad. You should be really proud of him.
Oh, I am.
Good. Your dad's an amazing man.
I know.
Good.
He sounds young.
You guys having fun on your drive?
Yeah. Yeah, it was snowing real bad until just recently. So.
Oh, good.
I was looking for a gas station, and then my phone is ringing, and I'm like, "Who the hell is this?"
Who the
and
hell
then
is it?
Then I thought I heard the word Isaac. I'm like, oh, this is a good phone call.
Yes. Oh, good. I'm glad you had that feeling when I call you. Hey,
Oh,
but
man.
by the way, I'm getting a lot of comments saying, "Yo, you need to know how much everybody loves and appreciates you and your work."
I really appreciate that, and I feel it a lot. You know,
Good.
people write me, they say things, and you know, it's going to take the good people in the world to fight as hard as we can against the evil people in the world.
That's right.
That's why I'm so happy to see what you were doing, man, because somebody coming out of Hollywood, that's exactly what we needed.
It is.
Somebody who was right there that can point at him and go, that guy over there, he's
Yep.
a pedophile.
Well, that's why I told him to meet me at the fucking hotel that first day. Like, hey, you want to say I'm a liar? Just come to my face. Let's do it like that. It'll be fun.
That's right.
We have good times. You're doing great stuff, Tim. I'm actually going to get off. I need to eat. I just keep getting phone calls and wanting to call amazing people. And someone said, hey, let's call Tim. I was like, yes, indeed, let's do it.
Yeah.
I'll let you get back. I'll let you get back to your drive. Be safe. Congratulations. And again, thank you so much for what you do. Everyone is so proud of you, and we love you.
Now, thank you, Isaac. What you're doing is extremely important, and it's also dangerous. So, mad respect, man.
Thank you, my man. Thank you. I appreciate it.
I think we know it's
Tell
dangerous.
everybody I love them.
All right. Take care, buddy.
Man. Bye-bye.
Bye. Guys, that was Timothy Homeseth. Check out his Twitter. He's an amazing investigative reporter. Was a journalist, stumbled in on some deep state shit. Has had his life thrown into disarray because of it. But he's a patriot, folks. This guy is a patriot through and through. It's Tim Homeseth. THOLMSETH. Timothy Homeseth. Check out his work. And I'm going to go. I need to eat. Let's do a hug. Hugs to the family.
All right. So, y'all, we know that we know what happened to Kathy, right? And I know if anybody's still in here with me, this has been a little bit long. But I just want to circle back around because I said I was going to talk about some supernatural things. And, you know, these things are supernatural in nature when you get down to the meat of it. And you have to understand this. If there's a cabal of evil people that do these horrific things, okay, and they serve these gods, little g, which is really Satan, there has to be an antithesis to that or an opposite to that, right? So that proves there's a God. If you believe in haunted houses and you believe in ghosts and you believe in spirits, then you have to understand that there is an ultimate good and there is also equally an ultimate evil. And people have the choice to do which one they choose to do. God does not make anyone worship him or love him or believe in him. He gives us all free will. Some people choose him. Some people are kind of just ambivalent and they don't know really. They're just kind of trying to look for their way. Then there are people that are they're actually abhorrent to God. They hate anything to do with God, the God in the Bible, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Oh, I just thought about that. Isaac in the Bible. And then Isaac Cappy. Now, I know he had a nasty mouth, and I'm sorry about that. But I had to share that because I just want people to understand. And now, why would Isaac be gone? If this was just all baloney and this was nothing to it, why would Isaac be dead right now? He was not suicidal. He said he was not suicidal. So why would he not be alive right now? Why are so many people dead around this stuff? Like Epstein, If he is, I don't know. I mean, I believe he is. They could be hiding him in um what do they call it when you go in a witness protection. Yeah, that's possible. Because they do when they do witness protection, usually they'll fake your death or they'll do something like that and then take you out and put you in witness protection. And I have an idea that a lot of some of these people that are not the old people that are dying, but some of the younger people that are kind of coming up dying, like Anne Heche, for instance, there was something weird about that whole situation, and she was doing a movie called, I think it was called, let's see, Girl in Room 13, and it was about a trafficking, child trafficking, and exposing that. And then she ends up something happening. Like I said, I don't know, but I think we can see if that was actually her that was in that car wreck, she would not have been sitting up on that stretcher like that, flailing to get away. So either they got a hold to her, really, and she was running from somebody whenever it zoomed by that camera, or they can do things through supernatural means too. Like, I don't know if anybody has ever heard of Marie Laveau from New Orleans, but she actually worked with a lot of high level politicians and things like that. In fact, I'm trying to think how that went. There was a judge that was going to be handling a case, and she made up is it a gree bag? I think that's what it's called. But and she went in and put it under the chair of the judge, and anyway, so that person got off. There's all kind of different things that people who do this kind of magic, they indeed do practice these rituals, and these rituals, they can have an effect on people if they are not protected under the blood of Yeshua, and that's just the truth of the matter. And this reverend that they were talking about, I have never heard of him. And to be honest with you, like, I did think Kaylee Anthony possibly was an MK Ultra. It seems to be that people's children that are either in law enforcement a lot of times or in government, if you look, their children will, I don't know, there'll be some weird things tied up around it if you just take a look at it. So, I'm not really exposing anything that has not already been exposed, but I just think that people need to spread this stuff so that people can keep their eyes open and understand that everything is not as it appears. Like, I remember before I woke up, I remember when I thought there was actually like a red side and a blue side, or a left and a right. But as you see, the people that are involved in these detestable things come from both sides. It doesn't matter. And I don't like this weekend. I don't like it at all. I've never been a fan of Halloween, even before I was a Christian, even before that I understood anything like that. Like I said, I come from a family that has a lot of Freemasonic ties, high level Freemasonic ties, and they never. My father has passed away, and my grandfather has passed away. My uncle, which is his brother, my grandfather's brother, he has passed away. But I'm talking about, 33-degree level. And I have shared some things on here about like getting to visit the White House, singing for Jimmy Carter, 2 years in a row when I was like 5 and 6 or 6 and 7. It's hard to remember that far back, but I have the pictures of it and the dates on it. But they're the old kind of pictures that you used to have developed, and they're you write on the back of them. You know, they're a little bit faded, but I actually have posted a couple of them where I was on the stage at the White House during it was called the Christmas pageant, and yeah. So there's some weird things in my family history that I remember. I have memories of. I don't want to necessarily get into it tonight because it's a lot, and this is a funky weekend anyway. Like I just don't like this weekend. I just don't like it, and it's hard to go against the grain. I understand the whole world celebrates Halloween. They think it's fun to dress up, and it is. I've done it before. I'm not gonna sit here and lie and say that I've never dressed up or I've never allowed when my kids were little for them to grow up. Um, but when we know better, we do better, right? I always knew I didn't like this time of the year. Like I always, honestly, it starts in September for me. When September comes, it is just like the ickiest feeling for me, all the way through October into November, and there are some really weird things that I could share that would show you how spiritual things can line up, both for the good through God and also through the enemy, through the devil. And I'll tell you one supernatural thing that happened that actually, even though my mom was into at the time messing with Ouija boards and looking into Wiccan and things like that, and I was a little girl, 3. I was an only child at the time, and my mother and my grandmother were in the other room. I was in my room by myself, and I saw these two. I didn't know what they were at the time, but they told me what they were. But they were taller than my ceiling, and they were bending down. And they told me they were angels. They told me that I was about to get sick, but not to be afraid. And I was talking back with them. And my mom and my grandmother heard me, in the next room over and knew there was nobody else in the house. So they came in there and asking me, who was I talking to? And I was pointing, like, can't you see this? These angels, And I did not go to church. My mother did not go to church. My grandmother was a Christian, but I was only 3 at the time. And I'm just saying, I never had heard the word angel or knew what that was or seen anything like that. So that was pretty cool to know that before I even knew God, that He was already looking after me. But the enemy also had a plan. I did indeed get sick. The next day, within 48 hours, I was in the hospital with double pneumonia. And yeah, but I totally remember it. I remember even being in the hospital. I remember there was a blizzard going on. So it was in February of 1973. And where I was from, it was not an area of the country that gets snow. It just doesn't. So that was kind of strange, looking back. But it does help me, confirm everything. My mother and my grandmother have passed away now, unfortunately. However, they continued to tell everybody that story, and I still believe to this day it played a huge part in my mother finding God. Because before this happened, my mom was messing with Ouija boards, and her friend that was from Miami was into Wicca or paganism, and they were actually doing a Ouija board at our house, and it had like a front door and then a back door, and I just remember standing in the hall, like looking at the table where they were, and our front door literally flew open, and this huge gust of wind came in the house, like flipped stuff off the table. Like I was a little kid, that was scary. So things like that you're gonna remember. Um, and literally, like the back door opened, and it was like something came in, blew that stuff around, and went out the back. And my mom literally took that Ouija board and took it to the door and chunked it outside. And she was like, I'm not having it in my house anymore. Her friend was actually kind of pushing her into that stuff because she I think she was in something called Santeria. She was Cuban and she was from Miami. And, that stuff's generational sometimes. So you just have to, understand that some things are okay. I'll give you an example. I don't know if anybody has watched the little Quentin Simon thing that's going on right now, but they caught a something running across the road. Now listen, it did look like a small child. It did. I personally think when children pass, they go straight to heaven because they're innocent. However, could it be an angel or could it be some sort of energy, even that God is allowing to maybe show people something? You know, um, God will do things in ways we don't understand. He will. Um, but listen, everything in our life is spiritual. There is a physical reaction to spiritual things, but nonetheless, everything that is in the physical starts in the spiritual. Like before the earth was here, God spoke, right? And an action happened. And he spoke into existence everything we see. Our words also have power. Our words hold life and death. People can speak life or people can speak death over things. Now, I choose to speak life, and I hope you do too. But understand, this weekend, this weekend is the celebration of death. And I don't know that if you are a child of the light, of the truth, that you really, you know, want to celebrate it necessarily. I'm not saying that people are going to go to hell because they go to a Halloween costume party, or because they do, one thing or another. Like, I'm not saying that. Like, I'm not trying to like be religious because I am not a religious person. I have a relationship with God, Yeshua HaMashiach, but I'm not a religious person. God abhors religion. Religion is what killed Yeshua, the religious folk. So, like, I'm not religious. So I just want to say that understand, if there is darkness, there is light. And just like in our universe, it's 99% darkness, right? It's 99% like dark matter or whatever. But it only takes 1% of light to light up all that darkness, right? Just think about that. So our words, if we speak life and we speak good things and positive things, and I'm not talking about the law of attraction or anything like that. The Bible says that we hold the power of life and death in our tongue. And we can speak word curses over our own self or over other people. So we do need to be careful what we say out of our mouth and understand that our words have consequences. And once you put something out there, it can't be taken back. And these things that I'm putting out here tonight, like, don't just take my word for it. Go back and look it up yourself. Like, don't just take my word. Don't believe what I'm saying. Always question everything, everybody, every source. Don't just swallow everything that is force fed to you. That's what I'm trying to say. Or else you'll end up like the frog in the boiling water, where they turn the temperature up really, really slow, and before you know it, you're boiling. So I think tomorrow night I'm going to come on here and talk about what the Grimm's fairy tales are. Because, all the little fairy tale stories that we tell our children growing up, they all have a root to something called the Grimm's fairy tales or the Grimm's fables, and like Hansel and Gretel and all these other little kids fables that you hear all trace back to these things. And we just have to start using our brain. Like cognitive dissonance is a real thing. We have got to take our eyes, let the scales fall off, and we have got to see. Like when we're children, it's easy to see the spirit realm. It's easier because we don't have all these preconceived notions about how everything has to be, and like we've got in our mind how God has to be and how he has to do things. But the thing is, we're just a little tiny creation. And how are we, the little tiny creation, going to figure out the creator of all things? That's insane. We can't. Even the smartest person on the face of the earth, their knowledge is like a literal 1 grain of sand. With all the sand in the whole world, that is what their knowledge would be like compared to our creator. So for all the people, who think they have it all figured out, and they know when the rapture is going to come down to the day, they know when this is going to happen and that's going to happen. Look, God gives me prophetic dreams and visions. He does. You can go back and you can look at my YouTube channel all the way back to when I started in 2016, when I was waking up. Okay? You can look at what God told me about the elections before they ever happened, before Kamala Harris was even picked. I even said in that video, if you go back and look at it, and it's talking about the 2020 elections, just look at it and listen to it. I tell about Pence being on the side of the enemy. And I'm just saying, there is spiritual discernment. There is. I am kind of like an empathic person, that I feel things that other people feel. That's what people call it, okay? But like literally, if I'm in a room full of people and it's a hostile situation, like, I feel it like violently in my body. Or if I'm around somebody that is very evil, like I can see it in them. I can point it out in them, even from a picture or a video, things like that. It is like, I'm not taking credit for it. That is just a gift God gave me. And, it used to not be honed in so well, which is why I could be so stupid as to fall for a narcissist that practiced Satanism when I was a young girl of 17 when I got married. But listen, every single thing that we go through, God will use it for our good. It's not that he took us there, or not that he wanted that for us. However, he will allow our life to be a lesson, to lead us to what our purpose is. Okay? And I know that I was born for such a time as this. I know that many of you were born for such a time as this. And if you've got a story, you need to start talking and speaking it and telling it. Because we don't have much longer. Like I said, I'm not even going to begin to say that I know the day or the hour, because I don't. But the Bible does say, if we watch and we look and we pay attention, we will know the season. And trust me, people, we are in the season. Okay? Just look around. And I feel like that in the year 2020, and there's a video also about that, something shifted in the atmosphere in the year 2020. God showed me like a 20 and a division line and a 20, just like 2020 vision or whatever. And there's a video about that on here. But that something was going to change. And I had a dream before that, and it was this ancient timepiece that I was holding. And the last year that I saw on it was 2019, which again makes me think that 2020 started something different. And if you look at like the upside down, and you're hearing that more often now, or that term. There are actual interesting things about that, and it's interesting enough to look into. I'll tell you, it is. I listened to, I think it was yesterday afternoon. I was having a really hard day. And I was just like laying down, and I was like listening to some stories, and there was actually a podcast that I listened to, and it was talking about all these missing people that go missing in these targeted areas, certain areas, and you can actually look it up, like on the internet, look up missing people in areas, and you will notice how it is in certain national parks or certain forests, and they don't even keep a log of the people, they say. It's just very interesting. I'm going to go back and see if I can find that podcast, as a matter of fact. And if I can, I will actually reshare it tonight. Now, I'm not going to say that I'll get back on. It's 11:11. How weird is that? See, 11:11 also, in my opinion, like I've been seeing that for 4 years now. And it only happens twice a day, right? What are the chances? I mean, I'm just not one to look at the clock all the time. But it's like randomly, if I do, that's what I see most of the time. Sometimes I'll see, another number like 7 and then 11. And think about this, okay? The only thing that is actually, fact that you can prove is math. Math is a mathematical fact. Science, they're just theories mostly, okay? But when you do math, 2 plus 2 is always going to be 4. 1 plus 1 is always going to be 2. So if you think about that, and our DNA is even, got codes built into it with numbers, because God is so amazing. He even put a letter to us in our DNA, encoded in our DNA with numbers. It's really crazy. Look it up. It's really cool. Um, and I just believe, in the Bible it talks about how knowledge will increase and people will go to and fro and all this kind of stuff, like in the end. And think about it. So many of these things, like the Bible code and all these different geometria codes and all these different mathematical equations that are in our DNA, like all these things, like have been unknown up until, lately, that we could actually even understand some of these things. So I find that pretty supernatural. And, I'm probably going to come back on tomorrow night. I'm going to try to get a little earlier start, maybe around 9. And I would love some people to come on here that have had some supernatural experiences, either good or bad. Like I said, I've had both. And you can share if you'd like. I can drop a link and you can come up and share. Yeah. But I'm going to say a quick prayer before we get off, because it's a really dark time of the year. And after this comes winter. And that is when things die off, right? So we're just going to pray right now that, Lord, you will cover our children and our grandchildren and other children that are lost in the system, and that are missing, that we don't know where they are, that are being kept for this time of year, Lord. Father, I ask that somehow that you would break forth and shine a light in those dark places, that you would send people in to recover these children, that you would send people into these places to expose the darkness, and these children would be saved. And I know that you give free will, and because of that, I know people will choose to do evil. And I understand you cannot mess with our free will, because then you would be a liar, and you're not a man that would lie. So I just ask for your hand to please cover and put safety around children this weekend. Lord, somehow supernaturally protect the little ones, that these rituals would not go on, that somehow they would be stopped by weather, by whatever means possible. Father, let it rain all weekend. Let it rain the meetings out. Father, I ask just for complete exposure of the dark things, that they would be brought to light, and that people would stop turning their head so that evil could continue, but instead they would rather expose the works of the darkness, and they would have no part of it. Give the strength, Lord, to help us to know what to do. Give us the wisdom to know what to do. In the name of Yeshua, we pray, amen. All right, I'm going to go ahead and go, because it's 11:16, and I've been on here a really long time, and I didn't expect it to go this long. But I'm going to tell you bye, and I love you. And no matter if you're watching this now and you're just not coming into the chat, I love you. And if you watch later, I love you. And I pray that the Lord bless you and keep you and make his face shine upon you and give you peace. And I pray that your loved ones stay safe, especially this weekend. All right. Have a great night. Bye. Love you guys.